Welcome into day 2 from the Mode Classic here in Liberty Lake, Washington. We got the first heat of men already out on the second competition stage. They did a workout here yesterday. We didn't have it on the live stream. They've got 2 workouts on this floor today and one on the other floor. 8 a.m. out here in the west coast of the United States. If you missed yesterday, we got 20 men in the elite division, or 19 actually, that have showed up. So this is the bottom 4 after yesterday, but some different workouts on tap today and definitely some opportunity for some changes on the leaderboard. For this floor, as you see, the lane numbers go from 1 on the left to 5 on the right. We got Troy Bounsgaard there in the green. On the left side, he's in lane 2. Connor Hartman in the all black. Maddox Metcalf, the black shorts to his right. And Cody Nothenagel rounds out the heat. Commitment Issues is the name of the workout. It's an 8-minute time cap, and there's 30 reps here, 15 squat snatches, 205 pounds for the men. Roll the bar forward, add some weight, and 15 squat cleans at 245. And there's a guy that I know named Tudor Magdu I think would do quite well on this workout. Tudor, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good ladder-style battery output test, testing squat snatch, squat clean. Sometimes in competitions they have power snatches. They allow athletes to power snatch. Here it's mandatory that you have to squat, and so they had quite a bit of squatting yesterday, and so we'll see how that affects them today.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. I mean, yesterday was a big demand on the legs with the running, the step overs, and then the back squats and box jumps last night. But, you know, these guys train for this stuff, and I think most of the athletes are actually quite excited for this test. The workout's name is Commitment Issues. When I first saw this, I was like, James, that's absolutely brilliant. As you get into the, you know, it reminds me of if everyone's ever done Grace or Isabel, or obviously Heavy Isabel, and there's such a big difference between the first 10 reps and the last 10 reps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially with the mandatory squat, I can kind of. In my brain, it's kind of like a ladder-style workout that I've done in the past at semifinals, where they had squat snatches, increasing weight, and ended at 265. And just the reps, the 30 reps over those period of reps, kind of affected the last few squat snatches. So we'll see how the cleans look at the end. But yeah, definitely having some commitment issues with picking up that bar again.
Well, and we got Maddox Metcalf out here in this heat, 16 years old. I mean, and this is some heavy weight for 30 rep, 15 on the snatch and 15 on the clean. But Maddox is very strong for his age, and so far it seems like he's hanging in there. He's in the front right. Obviously, there's a bit of a stagger here for safety, so he's in the black shorts, no shirt. And then you got Troy to the left there, also in the front in the green. Troy had a really nice finish to competition yesterday, second place on the back squat workout. So we'll see if he can kind of back that up as he tries to. He's really close to several men on the leaderboard, and he's trying to move out of this bottom heat.
Yeah. Nice rep by Troy there.
And it's actually Cody Nothenagel. He's on the far right side of this camera view for you. That's moving forward to load his barbell up for the cleans. We're not even to the 3-minute mark. It's about 2.5 minutes to get through 15 squat snatches at 205 pounds. It's a pretty good clip, I would think.
Yep.
Yesterday we saw a lot of good scores coming out of the first heat, and it looks like amongst these 4 guys, it's really Cody who is being aggressive here early and hoping to potentially set a time that those later heats are going to have to try to chase down.
Cody already 3 reps in on the squat cleans. Looking really smooth with those reps.
And you know, I mentioned that Troy had a great finish on the back squat workout last night. Cody didn't necessarily have that. It was 17th, but that just speaks to the different nature of Olympic lifting and squatting versus a power output move or a powerlifting move like a back squat.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think for me personally, I would definitely need to work on my squatting, powerlifting movements rather than Olympic lifting. So definitely two different strength biases there.
Oh, man.
Maddox with a good save there.
So far, Cody the only one to move into the squat cleans, and we're past the 4-minute mark. Do you think in general that the 205 weight on the snatch is more problematic than the 245 for the clean for a majority of the men's field?
Seems like it's playing out that way. I think just with the fact that you have to be more focused and accurate with the snatch. However, it is at the beginning of the test rather than the back half, so you might be a little fresher for those. But I think the last few reps of the cleans, if you're really pushing it, will be pretty grindy.
Well, Cody's going to be getting into that pretty soon in terms of those last couple reps. In the meantime, both Connor and Troy have finished up the snatches and have rolled forward. Connor in the black there with in the all black has already loaded his barbell, so he's going to start in on those reps. So we're approaching the 5-minute mark. I think Maddox has just done his last one as well. First rep for Connor, he slips out on the left hand there.
I think that's okay. I mean, zombie cleans is a style of clean.
Yeah. Seen some of the best in the world do it. Lucy Campbell had to modify that a couple times last year as she was coming back from that wrist injury. But we got a hand up along the wall there for Cody. So this is going to be our first chance to get a finishing time on the board. And this is where I think the name of the workout really comes into play. Like, you're close to being done, but the rep, you know these are the hardest reps. Can you convince yourself to go up there to the bar? His legs look strong. It looks like it's the midline, actually, that's breaking down a little bit.
Yeah, Cody loosening his belt between reps. I think that's a good idea to get some more just air into yourself.
Yeah. I don't know if our camera angles are necessarily the best for it, but you'll really see the expanding of the midsection as they're breathing really heavily here. All four men working on these 15 squat cleans. We got just under 2 minutes remaining. And Cody, hand on his knees, looks like he's really hurting now.
Yeah, these last few reps are killing, man. Oh, Cody misses a rep.
Haven't seen any other judges' hands go up, so I don't know if anyone in the heat is close to him, but yeah, it feels like he's right at the finish line and struggling to get across the line.
We'll see if Troy and Connor can close the gap.
Yeah, Connor had a few misses on the snatch portion of this, but once he's gotten to the cleans, he did slip out on that first one, but I feel like he's been moving. He's not moving away from the bar. He's staying close to it, and so his cycle rate between reps has been a little bit quicker.
2 minutes left until we hit the time cap.
I think 1 minute. It's only 8-minute cap.
Cody crosses the finish line.
So Cody's going to get in about 7:18. Competition corner, we have all the official results, but we got one finisher in this first heat and a time on the board for the rest of the men in the elite division to chase down. One finger up for Connor. He's in the back, and then he'll have to get across the finish line.
Troy with two reps left.
7:40 unofficial for Connor Hartman there. Troy's going to be right up against this time cap. You know he wants to get in and put a time on the board as opposed to reps.
Nice.
And staying close to the bar, going to get under it. And it looks like
yeah, I think Troy really sped up on those squat cleans.
and so maybe it is a 9-minute time cap. And if that's the case, our graphic is not correct there. But Troy got in under the 8 minutes anyway, 7:58. was what I saw on the clock when he crossed the finish line. Maddox Metcalf, last man out on the floor working. Heat one of four, for the elite men, who have 3 workouts in total today. As far as the flow of the day goes, we'll have these 4 men's heats, 4 elite women's heats, and then we'll relocate to the other side of the floor for, looked like you guys had some fun with some rope climbs last night.
Yeah, just a little bit of a tease for the fellow athletes.
I was watching the Bears-Packers. That'll do it for heat number 1 with Pat Sprague and Dom D'Agostino last night, and they all saw that. And Pat was like, "Oh damn, James is really giving these guys something hard." I'm like, "Pat, I don't know if they're hanging 10 ropes, man."
Yeah, we'd have to do heats at 2.
So heat 1 in the books. Cody Nothanego is going to set the time to beat, 7:18 unofficial. 3 guys finish, all of them under 8 minutes. It is, in fact, a 9-minute time cap, so that graphic will be wrong, but everything else about the workout's accurate on the screen. Heat 2 coming up in a minute.
When did they change the time cap? No idea. I don't even know the time cap, so I'm just going off of what Bella said.
These burritos have been so good. Is Adam McAdams competing or no? Did you say what it was? Adam.
IT man, like I wouldn't say like I don't know what it is really like. Seemed like the right like not yet. Burritos? Okay, food.
Hey, James,
What's up?
which one's Tanner Stall?
Lane 2. No. Oh yeah, lane 2. Lane 2.
The first heat, they weren't in the right lanes compared to my sheet, so I just
Okay,
want
I'll
to make sure.
Derek's on top of that.
But this one looks like it's, well, it's not. They've adjusted, they've moved because of Adam to get off the wall, so this is fine.
Johnny Sage, Tanner Stahl, Jacob Stoller, and then Jose Rios.
Heat 2 for the elite men within 30 seconds of starting their day 2 of competition here at the Mode Classic. Commitment issues from left to right on your screen. Johnny Sage in lane 1 in the red shirt, Tanner Stahl in the blue shirt in lane 2. Jacob Stolar, lane 3, middle of the floor in the pink top and no shirt on, Jose Rios. 4 men in this heat. Adam McAdams was slated here but had to withdraw after day 1. So 4 more guys here to take on 15 squat snatches, 205 pounds, and then 15 squat cleans at 245. 3 finishers in the first heat, led by Cody Nothanego at 7:18. You know a couple of these guys, Tudor. You think any of these guys really set up well for this workout?
Yeah, actually Tanner Stahl and I trained together a few years back, actually quite a bit farther back, like maybe 7 years ago. Cascade CrossFit back in the day.
Throwback.
Very good at gymnastics. He was one of the guys that I look at when I was training my ring muscle-ups and trying to get better technique for those.
Well, his Olympic lifting technique here, he's in the blue right in front of us, is pretty good on this snatch. Nice turnover and a good receiving position with the shoulders.
I like he's the only athlete to choose to wear sweatpants. I'm a big proponent of sweatpants myself.
In terms of the leaderboard, Tanner is the highest ranked athlete after yesterday, but all 4 of these guys are within 3 points of each other. It's very tight on the men's field. Tanner's has what says 91 points, but you can see in 9th place Jonathan Stevens has 90, And the bottom guy in this heat, Jose Rios, has 94, and he's in 15th. So there's a lot of room for movement amongst the guys in the middle part of the men's leaderboard. The scoring is an open style scoring, and it will go down. They're all getting 60 points right now for the 3 workouts that have yet to happen. So that's really like a 31-34 type score on the leaderboard.
Yeah, and out of all the 3 events yesterday, I think the one that most closely resembles this one was the spring-loaded event. And Johnny Sage and Jose Rios finished right next to each other on that, 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, very good finishes, similar to Troy. And we saw Troy get in. Oh my goodness, dude! 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and Jose Rios is rolling.
As I say.
Damn. Two fingers up on the judge's hand for Johnny Sage as well. So. Good foreshadowing there.
Oh, what?
Tanner saw with 5 reps to go on the snatch.
Do you have any kind of concept for what a top-end score from the best guys in the world could be on this workout?
You know, I haven't tested these workouts, but I think I'd say around maybe 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, obviously there's some extremely impressive athletes out there. I'm curious to see what the top score ends up being here, but I was curious if anyone, I mean, you do have the weight change, which obviously adds a little bit, but if someone could get 4 minutes on this, that would be crazy. Jose Rios has not wasted much time getting into these squat cleans. Johnny Sage in the red there has advanced his bar as well. Both Jacob and Tanner closing in on finishing up 15. I believe Tanner's got 1 rep to go.
Nice catch by Tanner and moves the bar forward. Changes his weights. I think weight changes are actually a skill that athletes can practice and get better at, because any time spent on the floor is time worthwhile in your training. So.
And you were talking about earlier, like Cody was loosening the belt. You can also, you can do a slight loosening of the belt and also allow the breathing to recover while you're, forced to do this change where you don't need to be lifting any heavy weight. Rios continuing to show really good commitment to staying close to this bar. He takes about a half step back, half step forward, reaches down, and goes again. After changing his weights, Johnny Sage has been pretty good as well at staying close to the bar, and he's got a lot of explosion coming out of the bottom of that squat. He's being the red here. We'll get a better look of it in this angle. But as soon as he receives that in the bottom, there's no need to readjust. He just comes straight up, strong legs, right into the finishing position there.
Looks like 5 reps left for Jose Rios.
And we're about at 4:30 on the clock, so he's well on pace to beat Cody's time. This was the part of the workout where Cody really started to slow down, so we'll see if Jose is able to avoid that. So far, it seems to be the case.
Seems like he's feeling it now. Takes a step back, rests a little bit, untightens his belt.
Yeah, he's looking around. These last couple reps are pretty nasty. After that big wrestle, you like to see this. He goes right back in for another rep. That should be
right back on it. Great urgency from Jose here.
And this will be his last rep if he can get it.
And Jose Rios just tied James Sprague's practice time.
Was that about 5:29? So James is sitting right next to us, and he's saying that he's very impressed with that score.
Yeah, I think James's battery is very good in our sport in general. I only beat him on Heavy Isabel last year by 2 seconds. So
wow. And that's like, you've got a 40-pound heavier 1-rep max, or maybe more now.
It's a very different test, yeah, for sure. And but the fact that Jose was able to beat that was pretty impressive.
Well, and Johnny Sage made up some ground on those squat cleans. He came in about 5:44. You saw him in the back there in the red. That's only about 15 seconds behind, but he was about 45 seconds behind on the snatches alone. So very good on the squat cleans for Johnny Sage on the back half, whereas Jose Rios really attacked the snatches and then kind of held on. Both of these times, as we saw at the back squats, like you said, they were top 4 finishers yesterday, and these are times that James is telling us he thinks are going to be top 5 times amongst this field.
And
Tanner Stahl
crosses the finish line. I think pretty good performance by him, considering his biggest strengths are body weight implements. So.
Yeah, 6:43. That's still faster than all the guys from the first heat. And the 2 workouts that these guys have remaining today, lots of strict handstand push-ups, some legless rope climbs, so he may be able to flex some of those gymnastic skills.
Great job, team. Great job. Good finish. Freaking solid.
Last man out on the floor is Jacob Stolar, and he's still on the snatches here, so clearly not going to finish under the time cap, but try to get as many good reps as you can.
Yeah, I saw him running yesterday on that Lycan runner, and he's, I think, was the fastest in the field at around 12 kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah, I think most of the guys were a full, like 11 or a full kilometer behind that.
Just got to those double unders super fast. But, you know, as it is in our sport, some people may have huge strengths and other weaknesses, so.
Yeah, it's more common than not, especially in the elite divisions, that if you have 6 workouts over 2 days, there's going to be something that's difficult for you. I'll be curious to see if, maybe he also has some great upper body pulling gymnastics or a good grip strength and can bounce back with a good workout in icebreakers later today. Less than 1 minute to the time cap.
Nice save.
And this is what you like to see. Good patience in the bottom of that. That was his last squat snatch rep. Make sure to get it, stand it up. And you see, even though he knows he's the last man out there and he's not going to be a great placement, there's urgency in the way that he's moving here to change his weights.
Yeah. If he can get 1 rep on the squat clean, that's a separator there. And who knows what other people will do in the next heat. So give yourself the best shot of getting the best overall placement. Oh. Another Lucy Campbell-esque zombie catch.
And maybe after the timeout cap here, but he is going to stand up 1 clean. And it's one of those things, people talk about it a lot when it's like you're going off of a big row or you have to go to a high box jump. Like, it's a totally different thing that your body's doing. Even though it's still an Olympic lift, you have to recalibrate the mind. I'm not doing another squat snatch that I've been doing for the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, the hands are closer and together. It's a different power position. Yeah, for sure.
2 heats down, 2 to go. Heat 3 for the elite men coming back with commitment issues in a minute.
Let's see what Anton Foss can do.
Oh, yeah, let's go. How do you think Cam's gonna? I don't know if Cam's gonna do Hans and Cam just because of the long levers.
No.
Isaac Say, I'm not too familiar with him. Is it pronounced Say? And then Jonathan Stevens. These guys are very good technique. So
I think
do we get a number of what some of Anton Foss's numbers are like?
I don't know his top end strength numbers, but
Heat 3 for the elite men out on the competition floor here at the Mode Classic 2026. From left to right on your screen, we got Anton Foss in lane 1, Isaac Say in lane 2, Hans Kohlenbrander in the gray t-shirt, middle of the floor in lane 3, Cameron Gray representing Australia, no t-shirt on, only man without a shirt out there he'll be in lane 4, and Jonathan Stevens, farthest to the right in lane number 5. Workout is commitment issues. It's a 9-minute time cap, so there's a slight adjustment from what you see on the graphic. 15 squat snatches, 15 squat cleans, 205 for the snatches, 245 for the cleans. Athletes will roll their bar forward and change their own weights after the first 15 reps. Jose Rios, top time so far, 5:29. Johnny Sage not too far behind him at 5:44. We've had 6 total finishers through the first 2 heats. And, on paper of the guys we see here, Anton Foss is the one that we're really looking at that might be able to make a dent into this one.
Yep, and Anton Foss right away, just getting a rep done and putting his hands right back on the barbell.
You called it out in the last heat that, Rios had a 3rd place finish last night. He was actually 1 rep ahead of Johnny Sage, but Isaac Sage, Jonathan Stevens, and Anton Foss all finished on the same reps. It was at 8 rounds exactly.
Right at that mark right there, yep.
All 3 of those, or both of those guys in the last heat were able to back that up with a really good performance here. So we would think that those 3 guys have the chance to at least do something similar to what we saw from Sage and Rios. I would say the wild cards that I'm really looking at here, and we were talking about the size, the length of Hans Kohlenbrander and Cameron Gray. These guys are both over 6 feet tall. When Cam reaches down for this snatch, like his hands are right against the outside of what the interior of the barbell can be. But so far, he looks like he's having a very smooth execution on these snatches. Cam Gray closest to us there in this camera view with no shirt on. He's a very calculated individual. The clock is straight ahead of the athletes. They can all see that. Every rep, he's looking up at it. And I think he's very much on a disciplined clock of how often he wants to get his hands on that bar for these snatches. Johnny Stevens behind him in the far right. I spoke to him. He was maybe the first athlete I saw here earlier this week. He got here a little bit early. And he told me in particular he was looking forward to this workout. So I'm excited to see. I think he's also kind of drawn a nice. He's close to the wall over there, but he can see everyone in front of him. And if it does get close at the end, it may be a little bit of an advantage to have that point of view.
Anton Foss changing his weights now.
And that's about the 215 mark. So as far as the snatches go, he's very similar.
Maybe a little faster than Jose's split.
Yeah, now, in the case of something like this, you were talking about it. How efficient are you in changing that weight and getting into that first squat clean? Cam Gray is about to move forward as well. And there's 1 rep last for Hans Kohlenbrander. Hans is the highest ranked athlete coming into today. He's in 6th place. Hans competes at the NorCal Classic every year. He doesn't do a ton of other live competitions, but he came out here. He said he's really excited to compete against these guys, and last night he posted that he's not done yet. He's ready to attack this day. I think that the next workout after this is actually a really, really good one for him. So if he's able to have a good finish here, Hans Kohlenbrander could be threatening that podium today. Anton Foss in the back.
5 reps in already.
Has been, just absolutely crushing this. And the thing about Anton is we know that he has at least 20 reps unbroken with a 405 back squat. So standing this weight out up from the bottom of the front squat in the clean is not an issue for him at all. And my gosh, this cycle rate is insane for Anton Foss right now.
I think Cam Gray's at 2 reps while Anton Foss is at 8.
Wow. We're at 3:45 on the clock here. I mentioned it earlier, but, staying close to the bar and hitting some reps back to back like that, it's a little just mental trick that you can do to save yourself some time.
Yeah, and we'll see how these last 5 go. Seemed like that was the crux of the workout.
Yeah, Foss did take a break after 10. I think that's kind of expected, and hopefully he can either do 5 really fast reps here or like a 3-2 with a small break. I think he may be, that might have been his 3rd, or he may have one rep to go.
1 rep to go. Wow.
Oh, he gets spit out of that one.
Still, if he can get this rep, it's going to be a blistering time.
He's going to have to reset here.
Heavy legs.
And Anton Foss, definitely someone that the athletes and us were looking at for this workout. He's going to cross the line at about 4:37. Nearly a minute faster than Jose Rios. And that was the score that James told us he thought might hold up.
Wow.
So this is like, Anton's right in front of us laying on the ground. He's got a huge smile on his face. Despite getting spit out on that last one, incredible performance for the big man. Big battle going on here. Cam Gray and Hans Kohlenbrander both with a hand up. Cam Gray came into the day 1 spot behind Hans on the leaderboard, 2 points behind him overall. And some of those other times are creeping into the picture here.
Hans with 1 rep left.
Yeah, Hans has been, more Johnny Sage-esque in this one in terms of a previous heat athlete where he's been increasing his cadence as the workout has gone on, which is it's a great thing to want to do, but to actually do it is a totally different story.
Yeah, and it looks like he's not going to hit Rios' time, but 3rd place so far out of the 3 heats we've seen.
Yeah, so great for Jose Rios out of Heat 2 here as he tries to make a move. And Hans Kohlenbrander said he was coming today. He middles Rios and Sage, 5:36 unofficial there. 3rd best time we've seen so far, as Tudor said. It looks like Cam Gray is the next closest to finishing, and he's going to try to get under the 6-minute mark. Looks like it's going to be 5:58, so the big guy's doing quite well here.
Yeah. With their long levers, they still managed to do a very good performance. So
Isaac Say in the blue cutoff T-shirt, Johnny Stevens in the back right there. Last 2 guys on the floor. They got plenty of time. Both guys are going to finish, and there's plenty of relevant scores for them to still try to chase down. About 20 seconds away from Tanner Saul's time. Isaac Say standing up strong and doing that little technique with the readjustment of the belt that Tudor's been highlighting. Lycan is the workout sponsor here and also the equipment provider for the Mode Classic 2026. Thank you for all of the wonderful equipment they've provided. And what you see these guys lifting here are the new James Sprague Earn It barbells, which they're super nice, first of all, but also if you're able to win this weekend, male or female, you're taking one of those home with you, which is pretty cool. Hands up for both athletes within 90 seconds of the time cap here. Tanner Stahl's time has passed, so has Cody Nothenagel, and now Connor Hartman's as well. Troy Bonsgard at 7:58 is the next finisher that they're looking to maybe squeak inside of. Got about 10 seconds until then, and I think 1 rep remained for Johnny Stevens.
looks like Troy's going to hold on to that time.
Yep, we just hit the 8-minute mark.
But Johnny Stevens is going to cross the finish line here. Very good technique from Johnny Stevens.
8:06 unofficial for him. Isaac Say, final 2 reps. He's going to have about 30 seconds to get those done. Get back up on the bar here. And all the men in Heat 3 are going to finish. We'll call it 8:41 unofficial for Isaac Say. But Anton Foss, despite a no rep on the last rep and having to recalibrate, 4:37.
Yeah.
52 seconds faster than Jose Rios. And undoubtedly, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's coming for that.
Yeah, I mean, he pushed himself to the limits there with that no rep, and he should give himself a pat on the back. He was able to get to that place and put out a great performance in this workout.
3 heats down, top 5 guys after day 1 coming up next.
These guys are not.
Yeah, Bradley, Jordan Bailey, Josh Felix. I mean, based off of last spring load, I don't know if he's gonna hit Anton, but I think he'll do well. And then, yeah, Nicky Rogers is pretty good. He's pretty strong.
Jace looks like he's ready to go.
Jace is very strong. Remember, he was hitting like 350 as a cleans as a teenager. Wait, what were you telling me about the wall there? This thing, yeah, because this is squat snatches. It's like this far. They should let the judges should let them go. I know. You got two girls on the mic tonight? Dude, you sound great. Yeah, you sound great. I was listening to you yesterday. I'm just like spitballing out of the yeah, well, this is your fight. As long as you know
Final heat of elite men on the competition floor here at the Mode Classic. Left to right on your screen, we got Jace Peck in lane 1, Jordan Bailey in lane 2. Overall competition leader with a clean sweep yesterday, Josh Felix in lane 3. Bradley Alcock at 43 years old, sitting in 3rd place overall with a pair of 2nd place finishes. Yesterday he's in lane 4. And Nicky Rogers rounding out the top 5. He's in lane 5, far right side of the screen. Commitment issues is the workout 9-minute time cap. Graphic on the screen is incorrect. Apologies for that. 15 squat snatches, 15 squat cleans, 205 pounds for the snatches. Add 30 pounds, 245 pounds. For the cleans, Anton Foss laid down the hammer, 437. Jose Rios out of the 2nd heat, 529. And Hans Kohlenbrander, 536 in the previous heat, the top 3 scores we've seen so far. Tudor, we were just talking a bit. On paper, Jordan and Bradley, maybe not the strongest guys in the field, but the other 3 guys in the back might be able to do some. I don't know if they can catch Foss, but all 3 of them I think have some potential for some good workouts here.
Yeah, if Josh can continue his clean sweep and beat Foss in this workout, I will be incredibly impressed. But we'll see.
You mentioned that Jace Peck was hitting 350-pound cleans when he was still in the teenage division.
Yeah.
That's wild. And Nicky Rogers told me this morning that he's recently hit a 300-pound snatch, which makes the 205 barbell feel pretty damn good.
Yep. Smooth.
Alcock in the blue there. And Jordan
Alcock
Bailey.
miss.
This is the workout that I'm thinking,
Yeah.
he's going to give some stuff away. And I was talking to Jason and Nicky when they showed up this morning. And they said, we're not sure about Josh. He was so good yesterday, but they think that they can take Jordan and Bradley on this one and try to, they're obviously in the hunt for the podium. In terms of the overall points, Josh only has 3, which is the best you can be at. Jordan had 10 yesterday, 3rd, 4th, and 3rd. Very good day. As we mentioned, Bradley with 2 seconds, but a 12th on the squatting workout last night. The other 3 guys were first, Josh Felix, and then these other 3 were also tied on that 8-round mark, which was tied for 4th best amongst all the men. So,
Yeah, it looks like all these men are a little bit behind Anton's pace, but
no real surprise there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of crazy. I would be more looking at Jose and Hans. And we saw Jose be very aggressive with the snatches and Hans be very quick with the cleans. Well, you say that, but Jace Peck at 155 is actually
right in the
ahead
corner
of
there.
Anton Foss's pace.
I wasn't looking at him.
He's farthest away from us on this camera view.
Snuck up on me.
But you see him on the left side of the screen there in the black t-shirt changing his weights. Hands up for several of the other athletes. And Jordan Bailey's hanging pretty tough here too. If you weren't with us for our preview or for yesterday, Jordan Bailey has been competing a ton this year. Local competitions, RX division, he won at a Monster Games, so he's not necessarily worried about the caliber of competition right now. He's a 25-year-old guy that wants to get competition experience under his belt early. And then I think from talking to him, based on what he's done this past 12 months, going forward, he's going to be looking at potentially being a little bit more selective with where he tries to compete as he tries to put himself in more and more competitive fields. All three of the guys in the back row have moved on to the squat cleans. Everyone right now is chasing Anton Foss's time, and in this heat, Jace Peck is leading the way. Felix and Rogers very close to each other. Bailey finishes up his snatches there at about the 3:10 mark. And Bailey does have a little bit of a cushion. I mean, obviously Bradley's going to be last amongst these guys. It's 11 points to Jace Peck. So a solid performance here, like a 10th place, is still going to have Jordan Bailey in second overall for the competition.
Yeah, and if Josh Felix can put out a solid performance here, he can still separate himself from the two men behind him.
Yeah, he doesn't have to win anything today. He did so well yesterday. I mean, 3 points, and you talk about like Jace had an 8th and a 9th. Nicky had a 16th before really ramping it up with a 4th and a 5th. So consistency pays in this sport.
Looks like Anton's was a little bit faster on the cadence with those squat cleans than Jace is right now, but Jace is putting out a really good performance. Let's see if he can hit that 5:36 mark hit by Hans.
You see his judge's hand up there in the back left. We're within about 15 seconds of Anton's time. Anton, known for his squatting ability, really made that count on the cleans. Jace moving pretty well though.
Yeah, and he's still got about a minute to go until we hit Hans's time, so I think he can secure a second place finish here if he just runs fast. Yeah, there we go.
Jace Peck, last rep, and he's going to get in underneath 450. Josh Felix right behind him, about 4 seconds behind.
Wow. And
Jace is looking at him on the line like, where the hell did you come from?
Looks like Josh really sped up those cleans in the end.
Yeah, and Nicky Rogers is going to get across the line here in a second as well. So Anton Foss will take the win, but Jace Peck, Josh Felix, and Nicky Rogers all going to come in under Jose Rios. 2, 3, 4 in this one. And honestly, it's great news for all of them. Josh is going to maintain his lead overall in the competition, but Jace and Nicky are going to be surging up. I mean, they beat all the guys that were behind them. And they've beaten both the guys ahead of him other than Felix. So, yeah, that was crazy. I mean, Jace went out so fast, sub 2 minutes on the snatches, that we didn't really think anyone could catch him. But if there had just been like 5 more reps, Josh and Nicky might have been right there or passing him. Jordan Bailey there's got his hand up from a judge. Last 5 reps to go. We're just past the 6-minute mark. So 3 finishers already in this heat, and then 5 others from the previous heats. It's Tanner Stahl's time at 6:43 that we're looking at next for Jordan Bailey, and this is one of those things where getting this extra point here could really come into play by the end of the day, so he's got to do a little bit of a gut check here and commit to this barbell. Alcock has moved on from the snatches as well, so he's into the back half of this one. It looks like Tanner Stahl's time is going to come in, which means we're now looking at Cody out of the first heat. If Jordan hits this clean, he's going to have no problem with that. So I believe he's going to be right about where we thought, 9th or 10th on this one, which is still going to keep him firmly in the podium battle.
But we could see either Jay Speck or Nikki Rogers get close to that podium race.
Oh yeah, they're
Close the gap.
absolutely in the battle. I spoke to Nikki and Jace this morning, as I said, and both of them, I think, we're looking at this workout and the final as something that they could have potentially top 3 finishes on. Nikki said he may even win the final, and the middle workout is gonna be a totally different one with those Lagos rope climbs. It's a different skill set than the other two, and that's the point of the programming that James wants here, is that you might have these ups and downs. But so far it's been Josh Felix who's been nearly untouchable. 3 points yesterday, 3 points in this workout today. And suddenly I'm really curious to see what the rest of the year is going to look like for Josh Felix. Brad Alcock, 43 years old, still out here doing it. Talked to him this morning when he came in, and he said, "Hey man, I'm just grateful to be out there." And you gotta love that attitude. About 1 minute to go here for the final heat of Elite Men. On commitment issues, the women will start up right after this. We'll keep the stream rolling while they change out the weights. And just like the men's, we'll have 4 heats of 5 for the Elite Women as they start their second day of competition here in Liberty Lake, Washington. 30 seconds to go for Alcock. He's glancing at the clock. Got about 15 seconds left. See if he can get 1, maybe 2 more in here.
Yep.
So he's not going to finish under the cap, but really clean reps, and gratitude
Still
for the
and
crowd.
banging out here.
Absolutely. Men are done. We'll reset the floor with the barbells. Women will be up next as they get set for commitment issues here on day number 2.
Maybe James should do this one. The women's heats. I'll ask him if he wants to.
Yeah. I want to see how much time I have.
Quick turnaround here between the men and the women at the Mode Classic. Thank you to all the volunteers, judges, staff from the Mode campus here who's pitched in to make this possible. We got the first heat of Elite Women on the competition floor for their version of commitment issues. 9-minute time cap, 15 squat snatches at 145, 15 squat cleans at 165. Left side of the floor, Rachel Rains in lane 1, Britt Rychek in lane 2, Evelyn Huff in lane 3, Sophia Natal in lane 4, and James Sprague has kicked Tudor Magda out of the booth. What's up, my friend?
Yeah, sorry, Tudor. Finished project on Earth here. Here watching Heat 1 of the Elite Women. Brian, that Heat 4 of the men's were so fast. I could not believe how many sub-5 times there were.
Yeah, but nobody faster than Anton Foss.
Nobody. Yeah, I knew he would be hard to beat on that. His squat's so efficient, and that guy can lift as much as he wants, kind of like Guy. It's pretty wild.
Jace came out sub 2 minutes on the 15 squat snatches. If there was maybe one more rep, Josh Felix would have had him on the squat cleans.
Yeah,
though.
that's absolutely insane. Brian, I got a couple athletes in this heat, Evelyn Huff and Britt Rychek. They have been with Next Gen Performance for a little over a year, each of them, and it's been absolutely insane watching their progress. Evelyn's really good at barbell cycling. I expect her to perform well here across the board. Her max snatch, I think, is 170, 175, so excited to see how she tears this one apart.
She's in the back there, the all black with the tank top on.
Yep. How do those bars look, Brian? You like the look of them?
Yeah, we were talking about them earlier. Lycan is obviously the providing equipment sponsor here. They're also the sponsor for this particular workout.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly apt, of course.
100%.
And those are the Earn It bars.
They are the Earn It bars. Yeah, the story of Earn It, let me tell you about it real quick. So Earn It, to me, you see the tiger stripes on there. The tiger is an animal that fights relentlessly for every meal, and 1 in 10 hunts is successful for them on average. So what that means to me is, hey, when you show up and you keep failing and failing, hey, there's going to be an opportunity. 1 in 10 times that tiger has a successful hunt. And to me, that means as an athlete, not everything's going to go my way. There's going to be a lot of failure, but if I keep getting back up, some good is bound to happen. So that's the story of Earn It. You got to earn every PR, every hard day, every competition floor to get out there. It's kind of my mantra, Brian.
I've been here for 5 days, and you're just now telling me this story?
Just now telling you it.
It's good to hear, though. I mean, as you were saying that, I was thinking, because you and I had talked prior to World Fitness Finals, that you'd done somewhere around 12 competitions, not all in CrossFit alone, because you'd had some Ironmans and some High Roxes last year. And my first thought was, and you won a couple of those, but not every one of them.
For sure. Not every one of them went my way. And that's for every athlete. I don't even think Matt Fraser in the peak of his 5 years winning the games, he would still say there was a ton he could have fixed. So as an athlete, you always got to be looking at your performances that way, your training that way. You could always be going that extra mile, just to make sure you're leaving nothing up to chance.
Yeah, and even though, you mentioned, because that's where my thoughts went next. And Fraser was undefeated across that 5-year span in any live competitions.
Yeah.
But he didn't win every workout.
Yeah.
He didn't execute every workout the way he wanted to.
For sure.
And that's another way that athletes can think about this. I mean, especially what we've been seeing with most of the athletes here is they've had some workouts with an opportunity to do very well.
Yep.
Almost all the athletes have had maybe a bottom half finish.
Yep.
And that's pretty normal. It's about how you respond to it.
Yep.
That really separates the good from great amongst the athletes in this sport.
What's really cool about a CrossFit competition is, you get a lot of chances in the competition to get it right. Oh, she almost had one. I think this is above her max snatch, Brian, which is pretty crazy. So I'd love to see her hit one out here. That'd be really, really cool. Britt actually took the backfill this Monday, which is super cool. We had a couple athletes pull out. She was next in line, and she was very eager to get out there. So I was really excited. She wanted to make the trip out. 5-hour drive for her. It was a very easy yes for her, it sounded like.
That's great. And I mean, I was just walking out on the floor between heats just to make sure everything was set up for the live stream. It's different when you're out there. You feel like you're on stage.
Yep.
And when you go out onto a stage or a competition floor to do something that you've never done before, like she may be about to do here, that's a character building in and of itself.
Come on, get up! Let's go! Sorry, lost voice. That got me excited.
Hey, man.
That is freaking massive. Let's go, Britt!
That was cool.
Right on cue with what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
that's sick. Hype me up.
the reality is she's probably going to take last place on this workout, and this might be her biggest win of the weekend.
100%. And I love that about CrossFit. It's not always the leaderboard that you look at for the wins. You know, that's the hardest part I have with competing now, is separating it, because I know that I can do it. So when I don't do it, it's easy to get really mad at myself. And so I'm working on that myself, not attaching my happiness to a leaderboard. And I've done a much better job at that over the past few years, taking my idolization out of the sport. But boy, I can catch myself at times getting frustrated. And oh my gosh, there's another one. Are you serious? There's magic in the air. I think we just need to put her on a comp floor, Brian.
Maybe it's the barbell, actually.
It might be the barbell. Let's freaking go. Look at her composure, too.
In the meantime, your other athlete, Evelyn,
Yes.
has been moving steady through these snatches. She's into this cleans here with about 3 minutes and change to go. So I think on both sides of the spectrum here, you got to be pretty happy with what these next-gen athletes are doing.
Very, very happy. All I wanted from them was full effort. That's a victory to me. They showed up and gave their best, and we got takeaways to bring back to the training regime. I was going to be happy at the end of the day. So they've definitely showed up and made themselves proud. Hard work pays off.
And Evelyn's, she's standing up these squat cleans. The legs look strong, but more impressive to me, the midline looks intact.
100%.
You're not seeing that hunched over rounding of the upper back. I don't know, has always been the limiter for me, either the thoracic or the midline when it comes to heavy squatting of any kind. And it's not something that, I don't know, as you learn more about the sport, you know that you need to have that integrity in the upper body to be able to do a heavy Olympic lift.
For sure.
But it's maybe not so obvious to everyone who doesn't have familiarity with it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the squat cleans for me were actually the most difficult part of this workout. Positionally speaking, squat snatch is tougher than a squat clean. But when we're talking about effort-wise, the squat clean was a lot more effort to get up. So seeing her cycle these pretty fast shows a lot of capacity. She's getting really close to being done here. I'm assuming we'll have more men be faster on this workout than the ladies. Heat 4 might surprise us with the ladies, but I'm assuming the overall median will have a faster mean and median with the men.
And you had said yesterday that you expected the women to do better on the back squatting box jump.
Yep.
You expect the men to do better on this one. How do you, what are you drawing that off of?
Yeah, for the back squat box jump, the lower box height, females typically jump and bound faster on that 24 than the males do on the 30. For this, I just really like, I have seen males do heavy Isabel so many times this year. I think, Brian, did we see the males go faster comparatively on heavy Isabel? Do you know that stat?
Olivia Kersider might be the one that
Might be the
upset
one
that,
anomaly.
but the top 10, yes, the men would have been better overall.
Yeah. So I just know the guys in this field too. They're all pretty dang good lifters. We have a couple guys that are super young and a little older that are still, working on that heavy of a weight. But the majority of these guys can play with that weight on the snatch and the clean. So I know a lot of the ladies are saying, "Oh, that's heavy loading." So maybe it's just the strength of field. Oh my gosh! And she keeps going.
And in the meantime, Evelyn Huff, as you thought, gets it done. 7:57 unofficially.
Really well done. Really proud of that pacing there. Originally the time cap was going to be 8 minutes. I wanted more athletes to have a chance at finishing it. To me, that was important to get more athletes crossing the finish line. So I'm hoping with that extra minute, we get some good times from that 8 to 9 minute mark.
I'm glad you said that because we have 8 minutes on the screen here. I've been correcting everyone every time, but I think it's fine to make that change.
Yep.
Maybe let me know about it next time.
Yeah, I should probably let everyone know that's involved in this. Yeah, and test the workouts.
But I want to talk to you about that because it's something that, Jason Ansley said this at the welcoming ceremony at WFP finals. We're always constantly learning.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. You did a full day yesterday. I'm sure there's things that you're learning, and you want to learn those things.
For sure. Yeah, if I'm not taking away a ton of feedback and asking people what I could do better, I'm doing a bad job. So, yeah, to me, it's important that I ask people to pour into me so this can just continue growing. Whatever that looks like, I don't know what that means yet, but I do know that there is a bright future for the Mode Classic.
Certainly think so, and great first heat. I mean, we only had one finisher there, but we had possibly the coolest thing I've seen yet this weekend with Britt hitting that snatch and then hitting it 2 more times.
Pretty dang cool.
She was also getting emotional out there,
Yeah.
but able to keep it together and
Yeah.
keep going and keep fighting.
That was amazing. Yeah, Brian, she looked really strong under the bar, so now that she has the confidence to hit that weight, I think that's why she was able to do it again. 'Cause she said, oh, I did it once, oh, I can do it again.
Yeah, and I've been there. We've all been there.
100%.
You see it whether you're coaching as an athlete. Sometimes you have that breakthrough on the physical side, and suddenly the mental's like, oh, this is something. And by the way, I think this is going to happen again today with the strict handstand push-ups.
Yep.
I know that there's a lot of athletes, especially women, that are doubting if they can even do one.
For sure.
I would not be surprised if there's at least one athlete who's never done one before that finishes all 10 in the RX field.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Would love to see it. We got those walls up 5 minutes before the competition started today. Brian, I was a little stressed out. We got it done. Shout out to the Mode team for being in here and putting up all that plywood behind. We had to flush it with the wall because behind the white wall, as you guys can see, that says Warriors on it, there is a space where it indents for about 10 inches. So we had to do some construction work. And when I say we, it was not me. It was the Mode team.
Yeah, I was talking with Jose, and he never seemed panicked.
No.
Even though he was right up against the time limit.
Yeah, he was doing a great job. It was amazing. Brian, I'm going to go check in on the other floor. I'll be back.
Thank you, James. Heat 2 of the women out there. Layla Von Brent is in lane number 1, representing CrossFit Twin Falls. In lane 2, Zoe Fiala, Turn 2 CrossFit. In lane 3, Natalia Flores, Kulak CrossFit. In lane 4, Hannah Dotson, shout out CrossFit Fort Vancouver. And lane number 5, Sarah Barkley from CrossFit Covey, getting set to take on this 30-rep barbell test. 9-minute time cap, as you heard from James. He made that change to try to get a few more finishes in, which was the case on the men's side. We had 2 extra guys get in that last minute. But the women have 15 squat snatches at 145 pounds. They'll roll the bar forward 1 section on the floor and hit 15 squat cleans at 165. Athletes were reseated after yesterday. They've already got scores in from the previous heats, but Natalia Flores was the highest seeded athlete amongst these women, I believe. And that's why she's in the middle of the floor in the white top, black pants there. Front row, closer to us is Zoe. Hannah Dotson in the all black next to her up front, and in the back, Layla on the left, the orange and blue. Natalia in the middle, Sarah Barkley on the right. All of them chasing down the time from Evelyn Huff of 7:57. James obviously has a ton of stuff going on. Tudor, that was pretty cool to watch Britt. James works with her. That was he said he believes that's a PR, and she hit it 3 times.
Wow, it's impressive. It's always nice when you can go to a competition and leave it all out there, and even PR. It brings out the best in you. All my PRs have been at competitions, so.
Including one kind of recently.
Yeah, at 333 pounds at WFP.
That's crazy, man. I have some friends who are in the Olympic weightlifting world, and they got, obviously what you and Guy did kind of got out there, and a lot of people saw it, and they were talking about that, and they said, we've known about CrossFit for a while, but if you would have told me that there's multiple guys that are, top 10 caliber that could also snatch over 150 kilos 4 years ago in the CrossFit world, I would never have believed that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a testament to us pushing each other as competitors and just trying to push the limits and see where we can go.
And the cool thing is that it happens at all these different levels. James and I were saying, that's probably going to be a last place finish on the leaderboard for her, but it might be the best moment of the weekend of anyone in this division potentially.
Yeah, and it can give you more confidence in training and moving forward and how you want to approach things, and know that you can get better. I think that's a good thing to take away from a competition.
It seems like a lot of calculated efforts from the women here in this heat. I don't think I've seen too many misses, but they all seem to be looking at that clock and having a goal in mind of, I want to maybe get on the bar every 20 seconds or every 30 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah, I know James likes to do that. I've never been a fan of that personally. I think it's a lot of a mental energy to look at the clock and try and put my hands on the barbell at a certain time, but I kind of do based on breaths between reps, so a little bit more of a natural progression there. As I get tired, I probably breathe a little faster. And, yeah.
I've tested this out in like open workouts over the years. Usually I'll just give it a go the first time and see how it goes based on feel.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's specific movements where I think if I was a little bit more deliberate with that, I might be able to get a better score. And it seems like about 8 out of 10 times that has been the case for me, but only with specific movements.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
First athletes are moving the bar forward here. It's Natalia Flores in the back middle there in the white, so she's making her first weight change. At about the 315 mark, she's going to be throwing the belt on. She did not use it for the snatches, putting it on for the cleans now. Only one finisher in the first heat, which was Evelyn Huff at 7:57. And some emotion out there.
Yeah, I mean, it can be frustrating, especially with a movement like the snatch. It's just like if you're off by 1 centimeter, it goes out in front or behind you, and yeah.
Zoe Fiala in the front left there. She did have one miss, but she's been fairly technical with every lift that I've seen so far otherwise. I think it's, got to be towards the top end of her snatching weight from a percentage perspective, but her technique is very good. And you really like to see that. I mean, it's common knowledge. I think it's common knowledge, even though it may not be common practice, that the way to get good at snatching or clean and jerks is to practice relentlessly with weights that you can move well.
Yeah. If you build that lighter weight technique base, it'll pay huge dividends in the future as you go further on your Olympic weightlifting journey.
Natalia Flores in the middle there in the white and black, the only athlete on the cleans at this point in this heat. She was sitting just outside of the top 10 yesterday with those athletes that were ahead of her on the leaderboard coming up.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking good on these cleans. She has a nice solid front rack, elbows closer together, right out in front above the barbell.
Hannah Dotson in the front right, I believe that's rep number 15 for her. So she'll be the second athlete in the heat to progress forward to the cleans. We're about 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. 3.5 minutes remain. We saw several athletes on the men's side who were much faster once they got to the squat cleans and the squat snatches. Let's see if something like that can be true for Hannah as she tries to chase down. Maybe not even just finishing the workout. It seems like if you get far into those cleans, you can still salvage at least a middle of the pack finish against the women's field. And hand up in the middle of the floor for Flores. So Natalia Flores, clearly the best that we've seen at this one through the first two heats. She's going to be not quite 2 minutes ahead of Huff, but maybe 90 seconds or so. 6:11 unofficial for her. So Natalia Flores, great start to day 2 of the Mode Classic here, coming out of heat 2. And we saw, Jose Rios ended up with a 5th place, I think. 5th place finish coming out of heat 2 on the men's side. We saw this all day yesterday where just the nature of the workouts that you can be pretty good at some of these even if you're in an early heat. Big smile on that rep down in lane 1 for Layla Von Burnt. And Zoe's got 1 rep to go. She stands it up. So I think good execution for her. As we said, her 1 rep max is probably not too much more than this. She's one of the smaller and younger athletes in the field, but she got through all 15 reps and did it in a fairly efficient manner. Dodson, the front right, closest to finishing amongst the women, still on the floor. And Zoe Fiala going to try to get as many squat cleans in as she can here. We have about 90 seconds left in this one. She's taken a long time on the transition, though. Took off some tape she had on her elbow. Putting on the belt for the cleans, just like we saw Flores do. About 20 seconds away from Evelyn Huff's time. So Evelyn Huff out of the first heat, also going to have a fairly decent finish here relative to heat number 2. Barkley in the back right there, hitting a good rep on the snatch. Layla Van Berndt has actually transitioned faster than Zoe, so she finished the snatches after her, but got to the barbell before her. Hand up for Dotson with less than a minute to go, so she's going to be very close to that time cap.
See if she can push the pace here and finish these last 3 reps.
Yeah, she got about 40 seconds to get them done. I had not seen Hannah compete in person before, but she seems like she's a very tough competitor. She's got a great hip pop there. She really gets a lot of momentum transfer from the legs into that final pull.
Yep, great hip pop, great front rack position.
And good commitment to the last set there. She's going to get in about 8:52, so she'll be our 3rd finisher through 2 heats for the elite women. Fiala's going to go for a rep here at the buzzer. She's going to hit it. Barkley will miss her last snatch. So 2 heats down. Natalia Flores, 6'11", fastest to finish so far. Dotson gets in at 8:52. Final 2 heats of women coming up next.
After the women finish, I'm going to have to take all of this stuff into there.
No way.
And then I'm going to have to bring them all back here.
At least we have a nice, concise. I'll help you. We have a nice. It's not as much stuff to move. I mean, actually, we gotta move that too.
You okay?
Yeah.
We have an hour. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to leave this stuff active. If I shut this down and open it again,
That's a little behind. I just noticed that I was crawling on the floor, and it was like too far ahead.
we have it set up. It's about a 5-second delay to this, and then a 2-second delay from here to this. And that's on purpose.
So you can crawl ahead of time.
No, it's so that in case something crazy happens, like with the audio or something.
Or someone that streaks in, dude.
Oh shit.
Or if like it just like buzzes or something. I see what you mean.
It's more for if there's someone who's producing the show that's not also doing the commentary, that is like being adjusting audio levels and stuff in real time to increase the experience. But yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Heat 3 for the elite women is set and ready to go for commitment issues here. 9-minute time cap, 15 squat snatches, 15 squat cleans, 145 pounds. For the snatches, roll it forward, add some weight, 165 pounds for the squat cleans. Left side of the floor, lane number 1, Montana Powell. In lane 2, Elsie Larson. Middle of the floor, in the black pants, Emily White. In lane 4, Carly Castura. In lane 5, Lena Mantica. And we have a few women in this heat that might be able to do some damage here. Elsie Larson, from what I know and have seen from her, very good at cycling the barbell. Emily White and Carly Castura, 2 of the bigger women in the field. They both had great performances on the endurance test engine room yesterday on this competition floor. Let's see if they can back it up with a good weightlifting battery performance this morning. So in the front there, Carly on the further away from us, and Elsie. And then on the back row, we got Montana on the left, Emily in the middle, and Lena in the far back corner. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll be looking at Emily White and Carly Castura here, as well as Elsie Larson. All three of them were top 6 spring-loaded yesterday, which seems to be a pretty good indicator, at least from the men's side, of as long as you can manage those snatches.
Oh yeah, I think about when we were, doing those projections for the men's side, it was like 80 or 90% of the guys that had a top 5 finish. When there were a lot of them because of the ties last night, they were all, pushing towards competitive scores on this one as well. Elsie Larson right in front of us there. She's been improving her finish every workout so far. 13th on the engine room, 6th place on the Ring of Fire, and then 5th place on that spring-loaded test that you were referring to. And her pace on these snatches early is more aggressive than anything we've seen so far. And you see when she receives it in the bottom position, there's no doubt about the shoulders, the midline, or the legs as she stands that up.
Yep, she's bouncing right out of the bottom.
And that's a minute 42 for 15 reps for Elsie Larson.
I think that's the fastest split we've seen from all the men and women so far.
Jace Peck 152 was maybe the fastest we saw for the men. She's about 10 seconds faster than that.
Impressive.
Now Jace fell off a little bit on the cleans as we saw Josh Felix was trying to chase him down, and Anton Foss was more balanced across both. And man, Carly Casura running all over the place with this barbell.
Elsie already 3 reps into her cleans before anyone else has advanced their barbell.
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to watch Elsie compete this year, and barbell cycling on both qualifier workouts and in live person competitions is something that she's it's just her best skill set from what I've seen. And I think that for a younger athlete, that's a really good place to be. Like, that's something that can be, if you're not good at that, it's something that I'm not that good at, and it was always difficult for me to kind of get up there. But if you're good at cycling a barbell at moderate loads, that means that you can probably also transition that into decent output on gymnastics movements that require strength. And then, for the most part, there's a few exceptions, but for the most part, you can bring the conditioning up over time.
Yeah, and I think battery tests like this can really test your anaerobic capacity and even your breathing. I know for myself personally, Heavy Isabel last year left me with Fran lung.
I'm sure you're not alone. Ellison's got some company on the cleans. Emily White, as we thought, moving very well here also. And Montana Powell in lane number 1 is going to be the 3rd athlete in the heat to move into the second half of this one. We're not even to the 4-minute mark yet. 9-minute time cap, so plenty of time, and we're going to get plenty of finishers in this heat.
3 reps left for Elsie Larson.
Yeah, and now, I mean, it's always fun to do it. It's not the same test, but she's chasing Anton Foss this time here at 4:37. And we know how impressive that was. It obviously held up, so this might be something that the girls in the last heat are going to have a hard time chasing down.
Yep. Yeah, she's thinking about that last heat and putting up a great time, trying to get first overall in this test.
Yeah, and she needs it. She came in 9 points off of the podium here, so an event win or maybe a second place. I mean, Jessica Andrazic's going to be relevant for sure.
She crosses the finish line here.
Yep, 4:33 unofficial for Larson. That is faster than all of the men.
Wow.
James had said when he was on here that he thought in general the men would outperform the women on this test. But Elsie had something else to say about that.
Well, it looks like he was right for most of them, but Elsie's just an outlier.
Yeah, and I think, like I was saying, Jessica Andrazik, maybe Trista Smith.
Yes, yeah.
Miley, we'll see. But
We'll see on the next heat.
But something, I talk about this, and you'll know this from your competition experience. When you know that you're good at something, or the people know you're good at something, you can feel a little bit more pressure. Like, I'm supposed to do well on this. So and maybe Elsie felt that, maybe she didn't. But I was expecting good performance. She did it once again with the barbell. And she's an up-and-comer in this sport. You know, she got on the competition floors last year. We were talking about with Josh Felix.
Yeah.
Like, getting out there, you said it best, like, experience is the best teacher.
Absolutely. Two reps left here for Emily White.
Yeah, and Emily, we mentioned she got the win on Engine Room yesterday. 13th on Ring of Fire. She knew that would be an issue. She hasn't been able to practice the gymnastics, which is not her best thing anyway, but she rebounded with a 6th place on Spring Loaded, and she's going to have probably another top 5 finish here. She's coming across at 6:06 unofficial, which is going to be just slightly ahead of Natalia Flores, and that's those 5 seconds there, that extra point on the leaderboard is going to be real nice for Emily White. Montana Powell, left side of the screen, continuing to chip away at the squat cleans. Lena Mantica and the far right side in the red shorts, also into the cleans. Carly Castura still snatching. Her judge has a hand up, so she's getting close to finishing the first half of this one. We still have 2 minutes and change remaining. Montana Powell did get across the finish line. She was really pushing those last few reps. She had a lot of urgency in the last maybe 3 or 4 there. You'd like to see that. It's not. We know those last reps are not easy.
Yeah, those are the hardest part of the workout, I believe.
Montana was very consistent yesterday. Range of finishes between 8th on Spring Loaded and 11th on Engine Room. So we'll see where that time falls today, but I think it's probably going to be very close to that range once again. So she's we've seen a lot of athletes this weekend that seem to be very good at something, maybe not that great at another thing. We talked about it with Emily White. Montana's kind of middle of the pack across the board so far. Carly Kasturov does finish up the snatches, so she'll get a chance to hit some cleans here at the last part of this one. Closing in on the last minute. 2 athletes still on the field of play. Carly's in the front there, the teal top, and Lena Mantica in the back right, in the red shorts.
And those cleans look pretty good for Carly Castura.
Carly Castura is a brand new athlete to this sport. Sean Sweeney's working with her. He told me that he had her do a 2K row just for fun, 7 minutes, 10 seconds.
Nice.
So she's got some power for sure. The technical nature of the snatch, high-level gymnastics like the ring muscle-up or legless rope climb, like those things she's going to have to work on. She's one of the bigger athletes out here, but her power output and aerobic conditioning, he said like if that spring-loaded test was twice as long, that she probably would have won it because she can get to this place and just keep going.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. She has like about 5 cleans in so far on these cleans, really pushing the last minute of this workout. Can pass some of these other girls in the other heats.
Absolutely, yeah. She's going to get another rep right in and before the buzzer here. So good effort right up to the last rep for Carly, but Elsie Larson, minute 42 split on the snatches, 4:33, 4 seconds faster than the fastest men's time, and 93 seconds faster than the second best female we've seen, which was also in this heat, Emily White. 3 heats down, top 5 women from yesterday coming up next.
Change the
That'd be good for 10 minutes.
I really hope so.
You look so nervous.
Dude, I just don't want to figure it out.
Apologies for the camera falling off there. Can't have the cameras on the floor because of the barbells will shake too much. They still shake a little bit, but definitely a better solution to tape them up. Final heat of women on the competition floor here to take on commitment issues. First of 3 workouts on this second and final day of competition at the Mode Classic. Thank you to Lycan for the equipment sponsor and supporting the athletes throughout their endeavors. They're all using the earned barbells for this one. It's a 9-minute time cap, 15 squat snatches at 145, 15 squat cleans at 165. From left to right on your screen, Grace Lochner, Trista Smith, Miley Wade, Jessica Andrazik, and CJ Pesco-Solida. They're the top 5 athletes after yesterday. Miley comes in with a 3-point advantage over Trista Smith, who's got 4 points on Jessica Andrazik. Jessica 2 points ahead of Grace Lochner, and Grace 1 point ahead of CJ. 433 from Elsie Larson with a 142 split on the snatches. And we didn't mention Grace Lochner because we're expecting some of the other girls to do better here, but I'm watching Grace on this one. She's been working on her strength for the better part of the last half of the year. This is the second straight workout with an opportunity for her to test for herself and see where the strength is coming along. Pretty interesting here with the floor layout also. Trista and Jessica in the front, which means the leader for the competition, Miley Wade, has them right in front of her. And while on paper Jessica and Trista should be a little bit better than Miley at this, Miley, she just turned 18, has a 180-pound snatch and a 300-pound squat.
Wow.
So she's no slouch with the barbell at all. She's also showed us yesterday something that we know about her, which is in the last third or quarter of workouts, she has this ability to flip the switch and go dark to get across the line. If it gets close on those cleans, being a little bit behind those other 2 women, she might be able to do that again and steal a point from them.
Looks like Jessica's going to advance here.
133,
Faster.
so nearly 10 seconds faster than Elsie Larson.
Wow. And we were saying Elsie Larson's time would hold up. She'd be top time, but it looks like Jessica is going to push her there.
Well, and coming into the weekend, I think there were 3 workouts that people were looking at Jessica Andrazik to potentially win. She got the first one last night on spring loaded, but it was close. 1 rep ahead of Trista Smith, and actually Trista was standing up that last squat. They ended up reviewing the video. She did not get it in the time cap. And Trista's right behind her again here. She came in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds on the snatch split, so about 20 seconds behind Elsie. And about 20 seconds after her, 15 seconds after her, Miley Wade's moving it forward. So Andrazik, Smith, and Wade leading the way here. Elsie Larson's time is definitely going to factor in.
Looks like a 3-way race here.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. You know, Miley can see what's happening in front of her, and she'll see that Jessica was well out in front, and she might let her go. But she wasn't that far behind Trista. She had a very fast transition. You talked about that being a skill that you can practice. Miley looked very smooth on the transition, so did Trista. But if Miley can just steal, a quarter of a rep each time here from Trista, they might come down to a couple seconds. This is exactly what Josh Felix did to Jace Peck. Jace didn't see him coming. Josh was able to track him down, and he almost got him in the end. Hand up for Jessica Andrazik, and we're still a minute and change away from Elsie Larson. So Andrazik 12th on Engine Room. She was second on Ring of Fire, first last night on Spring Loaded, and barring something crazy, is likely going to get another another win here. And sorry about the cameras. The tape and the barbells are holding up as well as we can hope for. But Jessica Andrazik, 4:04 unofficially across the line. It's going to be an event win either way. And now all eyes switch to Trista Smith and Miley Wade. Hands up for both judges here. I think Miley is closing the gap.
About 2 reps ahead here.
Oh my goodness, dude, she is so tough. Looks like Elsie Larson's time is going to hold up for second best. That's going to be massive for Elsie as she looks to climb back into podium contention. But Miley Wade, I thought it might be the case, and sure enough it is. Wasn't the fastest on the snatches, picked up the pace late in that one. She'll get across at about 4:42. Good enough for third place overall.
Next time we have coming up, Emily White at 6:06.
Yeah, so no real stress here now for Trista Smith. She's got over a minute to that time. So she's going to have a good finish here, but she came in 3 points behind Miley, and you know she was not planning on giving away another point here, which is what it's going to be. So 2 workouts to go. Trista's going to have her work cut out for her. And tale of two stories here for the women in the final heat. We had 3 women done, 3 of the top 4 finishers on this one. Grace Lochner just now advancing her barbell on the snatch. I think she's one of the athletes that will be much better with the clean here. She still has 3 minutes and 15 seconds, so she might be able to get pretty far, if not finish these squat cleans. We'll get a real good idea with the first couple reps.
First reps. Looking good here. Already down for a second rep. We're going to push the pace here.
CJ Pesco-Solido in the background also finishes up her snatches, and so she'll move forward for the weight change and start in on the cleans as well. We mentioned she came in 5th place. She had a great day yesterday, 6th, 4th, and 8th. Emily White was right behind her, and Emily's time is passed by at this point, so it'll be a nice finish for Emily White. 5th overall. Taya Flores looks like she's going to take 6th. A great finish for her.
Yeah, and for the race in this heat, Sienna Pesco-Solido, Grace Lochner. Grace looks to be about 3 reps ahead of Sienna right now.
Yeah, and you said it. I mean, not a lot of women finished this. There were several women that didn't finish. There's still several times to go, so plenty to fight for Grace and Sienna here.
Grace with the chalk on her shoulders. I personally like to do that on cleans or anything in the front rack.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in the top end of competitions occasionally where, you know, one of the guys will lose their shirt and the bar will slip right out of their front rack.
Grace is still looking solid here.
Yeah, she's attacking. We got 90 seconds to the time cap, and I think she's got every intention of finishing this thing. And there's points up for grabs right up until those last 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like now she has only 2 reps to go.
Yeah, Evelyn Huff from Heat 1, 7:57 is going to be very close. I think Evelyn actually might get her here.
But if Grace can stand this up,
she's got a huge smile on her face.
Solid for her.
And that's one of those things where, like, 4th in your heat, you know, maybe 8th, 10th, something like that overall, but everything she's been working on the last 7 months, I think the smile says it all.
Yeah, and you know, if you can move that fast on the cleans, you know, it's just a matter of technique and working the snatch a little bit more, and then they'll be right up in the mix.
For sure. 30 seconds to go. Well, that's not.
Ciano still working here.
Yep.
seconds left. Just see if she can stand this up. No, not in time.
So a fight to the end for CJ there, but crazy fast times in this heat. Jessica Andrazik makes it 2 consecutive event wins. Miley Wade continues to do Miley Wade things, surging at the back half of workouts. Trista Smith finished 4th. Elsie Larson will take 2nd from the previous heat. Thanks to Tudor and James for the help with this one. We're going to
Thanks, Brian.
reload for the other competition floor. We'll see you in about an hour with Icebreakers.